Hello, welcome to Dungeons Podcast. I'm your host Justin. It's funny, I I just finished my review for this, but then I realized, oh crap, my mic wasn't plugged in. So, holy crap. So yeah, it would have been like 17. Yeah, it would have been 17 minutes of like empty air. Oh my god. So yeah, today I'm reviewing the Japanese fantasy. I don't know. The reason why I say Japanese fantasy because it's like the show takes place in a fantasy world, but it's like Japanese feudal. It's Japanese. Sorry, it's a fantasy world that's based off feudal Japan. Hence why I say Japanese fantasy war drama show, which is based just like with Fate Stay Night. It's based off an adult visual novel, but the difference is with the original visual novel had like tactical RPG elements, which Fate Stay Night didn't have, right? Which was which was developed by Leaf, which I back in 2002, which I always thought it was by Aquaplus. Maybe Aquaplus owns it now, right? Yeah. So the show has 26 episodes, and the studio was, what was the studio again? It was like ULM or something. Sorry, Studio OLM, which I have no idea what other shows they've done, right? And like Half HP Studio, Atlantis, and Aquaplus helped with the show, and the show had an English dub thanks to Funimation ADV, right? Which I watched the show on the Funimation Save Edition, which has the complete series with all 26 episodes. Unfortunately, the first disc was scratched even when I cleaned it, right? Some of the episodes didn't work, but thankfully somebody uploaded the show on YouTube with a different name. But they cut out like the first 3 minutes, so. But I mostly saw like 99% of the show, right? So yeah, yeah. So yeah, the whole reason why I watched this show, other than I want to go through my backlog of DVDs, is that there's a new Utawarerumono game coming out called Monochrome Mobius, which is fully 3D and no longer has the visual novel elements, and it's a turn-based RPG. So I'm like, holy fuck, I want to play this game, but I should probably go and check out the original anime and maybe play some of the games I have, which I have the Utawarerumono Mask of Deception for the Vita, right, which is another visual novel tactical RPG. Since this review came out like a week after Black Cat, that should just tell you I love the show. Yes, it was 26 episodes, but I had a great time watching this show. For once, you have an adult male character that actually looks like an adult, and he's voiced by, I think his name is John Gramillion, right? Who sounds like he's in his 40s or something, but it's like, holy great! It's great to finally, because I'm in my 30s now, so I want more mature, adult male protagonists, right? There's not a lot of shonen style anime that have that. Which this isn't shonen, by the way. The show starts off like it's like a 14A PG-13 rating show, but like halfway through the show, they start to get really bloody with the battles, where you're seeing people get cut in half, arms and legs, women and children getting killed. It's insane. Which this show is primarily a war drama, right? If you're a fan of the Samurai Warriors games, definitely check out this anime, right? So the anime is about typical visual novel. You have a main character who wakes up, with no memories, and his only belonging is the mask that's stuck to his face, right? and he gets taken care of by this apprentice healer named Aru, right? Who has animal ears and a tail, which our main character does not. He has human ears, right? Which is another character in the show who looks human, but they never explain how come we're like the only normal humans in the show. They never explain that, right? But yeah, most of the people in the show are like have like animal ears or tails. There's like a race of angels that have magic powers for some reason, right? Because they're the head of the main church of the main religion, I guess, right? And what the show is basically our main character Hakuro, who's given that name by the grandmother of the girl who saved them, gives him his name and gives him a weapon, a fan weapon, which is a steel fan that he can use as a blunt weapon, as a slashing weapon. And there's points where he uses it like a shield, right? It's pretty cool, right? Apparently the character knows martial arts, right? Even though there's shit near the end of the show that kind of contradicts him knowing martial arts. Well, I'm not going to go into that, all right? But yeah, what happens, basically, he becomes, through circumstance, he becomes first the leader of his village, and then the leader of his nation, right? And he gathers strong allies and has to go to war with the various nations. The show was almost a fantasy-style version of Kingdom, which I love that show despite the bad animation. Obviously, read the manga, but that show, I really like that show, especially for the strategic battles and stuff, which there are strategic battles in this show as well. Though they never get to the level of Kingdom, in my opinion. Though that's not the main aspect of the show, right? There's also the mystery, the fantasy mystery aspect of the show of who's the main character, why does he have mysterious powers, which, this isn't really a spoiler because in the first 10 seconds of the show, they do flash forwards where you see the main character turn into this giant demon, which I'll talk about in the spoiler section of the show, of this review, right? Which there's also romance aspect of the show, which is, of course, there's going to be romance aspects because this show is basically based off like a fucking harem porn game. But just like with Fate Stay Night, it elevates the, its degenerate origins, in my opinion. Right? So the music, I think the music overall is good in this show, but it doesn't have that cool, like, haunting melody that, like, Fate Stay Night has. Right? The show gets really fucking crazy and dark at the final stretch of the show where our characters have to fight bio-organic mechs, which the main character knew about, but for some reason didn't really come with, countermeasures, which I thought he would have made, like, because, like, he would have, like, came up with, like, because, like, they're very limited on what they can do. They're basically Guy Melifs, but way weaker and smaller. So he could have just came up with, like, death pits, spiked death pits or something, like lure the fucking robots into like, pitfalls that would have killed them no fucking problem, right? Or drowning them, right? But no, he didn't come up with any countermeasures. That's when his he turns into his demon form, which it turns into basically Heroic Age, which is another a Funimation show, but it's about like basically a kid who turns into a giant Digimon. Basically turns into a Blue War Greymon fighting mechs in outer space, right? Oh, and there's like, and there's like a Greek mythology kind of thing going on. Right. But besides from that, I'll just go on my likes and dislikes. I like the character designs. I like the strategic battles. I like the story. The plot twists were great. The show actually had the balls to kill main characters, though that happens like really early on, and they don't really kill any other main characters till the very end. But it still had the balls to kill main characters. And if a war drama show, if a war drama show is good, if you tear up when the character dies, right? Which that happened to me. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, but other problems. I'm gonna go with my dislikes for the show. There's like that very random episode where they change the animation, and it gets super fucking bloody out of nowhere. I have no. The only explanation I could come up with is maybe the show, maybe because it was a war drama or something, and it's based off a porn game, that there were like somebody in Japan when it was broadcast on TV was like, yeah, move it to an adult time slot, late time slot. So they were like, fuck it, let's add blood and gore and shit. And that's what I'm assuming. They obviously reuse animations at times. They use CG models for some of the scenes with the armies, which looked very bad. Like at one point they looked like PS1. There was continuity issues with the Waptars, which are like these dinosaur mounts that they ride. Which there's like one scene where they have green blood, when on other episodes they had red blood, right? And then there's just like with Fate Stay Night, there's the bullshit where they kind of go into the origins of characters, but not really, and you're left more confused near the end, basically, right? Which is like fucking bullshit, because with Fate Stay Night, if you never read the visual novels, there's a mystery in the show. It's like, who the fuck is Archer, right? They never go into Archer's identity. And that's like, if everybody who played the fucking visual novel knows who Archer is, right? So it's like, what the fuck? That was bullshit. They do the same thing here, where they kind of hint at Hakuro's origins, but not really. Yeah, I did like that. There's like in the beginning of the Mask of Deception game, you encounter the immortal slime monster, and then you find out its fucking origin in this anime. So it's like, holy fuck, that's how those fucking things came to be. Holy fuck. Yeah, but yeah, and what was the other problems I had? Yeah. Oh, he fights another demon thing. Giant demon thing near the end, and it basically just a color palette change, which is like, oh my god, they couldn't go more, they couldn't change it up a bit. Fuck sakes. But overall, I love this show. Would give it 8 out of 10, but because of the problems, I'm giving it 7 out of 10. Great show. Highly recommend it. And I thought I was going to talk about going into spoilers, but yeah, I probably shouldn't. But yeah, it gets my main spoiler that I want to talk about was that they go into sci-fi, and basically the show turns into Blue Gender. So I'm like, what the fuck? Basically the show, it turns out it was Earth all along. You were on, it's Planet of the Apes. You were on Earth all along, but it's in the far future, and they were experimenting. The main character may or may not have been a scientist who gets possessed by a demonic spirit, and all the beast people are basically experimentations where they were trying to make people live on the surface of the earth, because apparently in the future people can't live on the surface of the earth. So they were making beast people, and that's how they explained the beast people. So it's like, what the fuck? And there's like a satellite beam weapon. Oh my god, it's like, holy fuck. Yeah, but they never explain like what our main characters. Yeah, that's it. Like, the main character thinks his real name is Iceman, when that was just his code name after. Oh, so yeah, that's it, guys. Peace.